Hey guys, hello and welcome to Naveed for Speed. This right behind me is the Mercedes C63 AMG. It's the new facelift 2019 edition, and I'm gonna have a look around it, show you a little bit inside, show you some of the settings, and then take it for a little drive. So stay tuned. So yes, this is the 2019 facelift edition of the Mercedes C63 AMG. Now the first thing that you should know about Mercedes C63 is that Mercedes is the only company in its segment that makes the car in all four variants. So you've got the coupe like you have here, you have the saloon, you also have the estate car, and lastly the cabriolet. The other German rivals like Audi and BMW, they don't do all four variants. So the BMW, they don't have the estate car, the wagon, and the Audi, they don't have the, they've got the wagon, they've got the saloon car, and they've got the coupe, they don't have the cabriolet. Other car manufacturers like Alfa Romeo and Lexus, they only have the saloon or the coupe. So Mercedes offers all four variants of the car, and I've been told that they're all good. I mean, there's the cabriolet, which obviously because it's a soft top roof, it has to be the car has to be a lot stronger, so it's a bit heavier. I've been told that's not as good as the rest of them, but this is the coupe, and look how amazing it looks. Looks pretty incredible. Let's go to begin with. Let's talk about the engine. So if I open the door so we can get to the engine bay. Right, here we are. Let's open this bonnet up, and there we are. There's the 4-litre bi-turbo engine, V8 engine, handcrafted and signed. This one's signed by somebody called David Hoffman, I believe. But yeah, all Mercedes engines are hand built and signed. Here's the M177 engine. Now what's actually quite interesting about this engine is this engine is used on not this car, it's used on many different Mercedes. And if you were to hazard a guess how many Mercedes cars this engine's actually used on, you'd probably think about, you know, maybe 4 or 5. So I'll tell you which cars this engine's been used on. You've got the Mercedes C63 and the C63S. You've got the E63 and E63S. You've got the S63, the G63, the GLC63, the GLC63S, GLE 63 and 63S, AMG GLS, the AMG GT, the AMG GT63S, the GT73 EQ, the Mercedes Maybach, the SL63. It doesn't stop there. There's also the Aston Martin DB11 V8 and Volante, the Aston Martin Vantage, and the Aston Martin DBX. So yes, this engine is used on, I mean, what's that, around 20 or so cars. So yeah, it's a popular engine, but it's an amazing engine as well. Mercedes are so good at making turbo engines, one of the best, and that's why they're used in the Aston Martins as well. So there we have it. That's the M177 engine. It produces around 463 horsepower and just shy of 500 pound-feet of torque. The Mercedes C63S actually has the same engine, but that's tuned up to 503 horsepower and just over 500 pound-feet of torque. So there we are. Oop. Let's have a look around the car actually, because immediately you'll be able to spot that front grille, which is not the usual grille used in the Mercedes C63. This one is actually borrowed from the Mercedes AMG GTR, so it's borrowed from the big brother. And I think it looks incredible. It looks so much better than a normal C63, the old the model before this. And then you've got all the sort of front splitters and lip, all the usual designs on the front as well. These headlights as well, they're new. They look pretty cool as well. I'll show you them I'll turn them on and I'll show you them in a second. Moving over to the side then. In fact, I'll move over to this side because you'll be able to see it better. Actually, before I do, you've also got the normal C63 grooves on the bonnet, which just give the whole car a bit more of a muscular profile. On the side then, the car sits on Michelin Pilot Super Sport tyres, 19-inch, and these alloys are actually pretty cool. I've tried to find out a little bit about these alloys, but I'm not actually sure. So if you know a bit more about these alloys, let me know in the comments. But I think they look so cool, these AMG alloys. Moving over to the side, then you've got the V8 bi-turbo little badge, and these grooves in the side of the car, which just give it that bit more muscular feel. But overall, yeah, the car looks a lot more aggressive. The C63 is a wider car than the normal C-Class coupes, and yeah, coming over to these rear haunches, you can see how wide these rear tires are as well. The rear axle is reinforced, and it needs to be with this much amount of horsepower and this much amount of torque, all going to the rear wheels. And then at the back you've got the two lots of twin exhaust, I suppose. These are just exhaust tips. They're actually fake as well, because if you go in you can see the actual exhausts. And yeah, you've just got a bit more bodywork. These are fake valves. It's fake inlet outlet areas as well. But yeah, there we are. Overall, oh, actually another thing whilst we're here is the tail lights, the C tail lights. They're new with the facelift edition of the car as well. So that's the outside of the car. Let's move on to the inside. So get into the car. I've actually got comfort access on, but for some reason it doesn't always work. So what that does is it just moves the seat a little bit forward and backwards for myself, and just helps me to get in the car a bit easier. When you get inside, you notice this steering wheel, which was changed, I believe, in 2015 or 2016 to the latest model C63. But the new car actually gets these little toggle buttons here, these plastic toggle buttons, and I'll show you them in use in a short while. In fact, whilst we're here, I'll just start the car up. So there we are, and you can see you can use this toggle button on the right hand side to change settings on the digital dash. The digital dash is now bigger as well. It's a 12-inch or somewhere around the 12-inch mark. You get the center screen as well, which is around 10 inches. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. You get the buttons here for sat nav. You know, you got your radio. Just the usual stuff, and I quite like the fact that they've got the buttons here to control all that. So yeah, you can use this toggle on the steering wheel to control the center, you know, the entertainment and stuff like that. And then you've got this toggle on this side, which you can use to control the digital dash, and you can actually change what you would like on the digital dash. So you've got your G meter there. You can see how much horsepower and torque you're using, pressures and temperatures, fuel. You can change even sat nav in the digital dash. You could change what you want to use in the digital dash. But yeah, overall, you've in the middle and the center console, you've actually got the this sort of circular toggle that you can use to control the entertainment system as well. And then you've also got this sort of touchpad which you can use. So if you use it like this, you can change settings on there. Now, Mercedes have stuck with the toggle button here to change the ride mode, the mode from comfort to sport, but you also get one of those now on the steering wheel, which is here. So if you turn it, it's currently in comfort mode, you can turn it to sport mode, sport plus. There's also a slippery mode for when it's icy or rainy or outside, just to give you a bit more extra traction. It's important to note that in the C63S you also get a race mode as well. The C63S does have, I mentioned it does have more horsepower. Anyway, this button, you can, if you press it, it will send you straight to your individual mode, and you can change the engine settings, the gearbox settings, ride comfort, even the exhaust sound as well. But let's put that back into comfort. You can change the sound of the exhaust by pressing this button here as well. That just gives it a bit more of it goes to the powerful exhaust setting, so it gives you a more a better exhaust note essentially. And you've also got buttons here to change to turn up the traction control, manual gears and suspension as well. All in all, I think it's a pretty nice place to be. You've got these seats which are actually pretty comfortable. Considering it's a coupe, I did think that this car would be a lot less comfortable, particularly in real world situations where roads aren't perfect. But I found it fairly comfortable. We've got the only criticism I do have of the seats is that they aren't well bolstered, so they don't sort of tug at you at your sides and keep you in your seat. But I am a fairly skinny person anyway, so I suppose that's why I have that issue. You can change the settings of the seats, so you can move them forward and back and using these settings here, and you can also save your settings as well. Right, so what we'll do is I've got my friend over here who's going to help me by showing you guys some of the exhaust notes. Okay, let's start the car. Put the AC up higher. I don't actually know much about how to use this AC. It's so complicated. I'm sure I'll get used to it, but I've only had the car for a few days, and yeah, I've not even looked at the AC because I've got an advanced degree, but I'm not even gonna go there. Right, okay. So let's go into drive and let's set off. Like I said, nice and comfortable. The steering wheel is nice and direct. It's very smooth, and it's very accurate. It's a lot more accurate than some of the other cars I've driven, particularly a lot more accurate than BMWs. And there are a few different AMG dynamic settings that you can have on the car, which give you different amounts of or different levels of assistance, and they also tighten up the steering as well, so they make it a lot more sharper, change the steering angle. But otherwise, at normal road speeds, this is perfect. It's comfortable drive, great seating position, great view, great visibility. Everything's pretty good. So yeah, let's just gonna go off and do a bit of a launch. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop here for a second, and right, to engage launch is a little bit fiddly. What you have to do is you have to put the car in Sport or Sport Plus mode. You hold back both the flappy paddles. Right, so once that's loaded, you hold back both the flappy paddles, and then to select that, you hold the right, and that didn't work. So we do that again. So let's now try a launch in this car. So to use launch control, first you have to change the car into Sport or Sport Plus mode, and then you have to let that load. There we go. And hold back both the flappy paddles, and then select the right hand flappy paddle to accept that. Put your foot down, build the revs up to, that's not done that. Okay, let's put it on. So we are going to try a launch control on this road here. We've already got the car in Sport mode, Sport Plus mode rather. So you hold back both flappy paddles, then to accept it you press the right hand flappy paddle, put your foot down to 3,500 revs, let go of the brake, and you're away. Oh, and you reach the corner fairly quickly. The entire chassis gets thrown back, all the way goes on those rear wheels. Those rear wheels struggle for grip, and it's all fidgety, and then you're suddenly sent forward. It's a little bit different to the RS5 that I drove, because the Audi RS5 has 4-wheel drive, and so even though that does 0 to 60 a lot quicker, in fact that does it in 3.6 seconds, whereas with the AMG, the C63 AMG, you get to 60 in around 4 seconds. Even though that is quicker, it felt uneventful simply because it's 4-wheel drive, so it all feels clean and clear. Whereas with the C63, it's because it's 3-wheel drive and it's all fidgety and squirmy, and it struggles for grip. It is a lot more eventful and it's a lot more involved, but it's so much fun. This car is, yeah, it's just so much fun. It's so involved. Although as an all-rounder though, it's a great car. It does everything amazing. There are some of the cars in the other from the other manufacturers that do stuff better, like the RS5 can accelerate better than this. Some of those cars may have better ride quality. The Mercedes AMG C63 just has everything. It's a full all-rounder for you. I think it's a great car, and I've had it for a few days and I've got it for a couple more days, so I'm gonna go have some fun with it. If you enjoyed this, if you enjoyed looking around the car, make sure you click the subscribe button, make sure you like, comment, tell me what you like about the car, tell me about those alloys. I don't know much about those alloys, and yeah, hope to see you next time.